takes it in overtime. Brady Tkachuk, breakaway shoots, scores!
Welcome to SENS Talk. My name is Brandon, and I am your host tonight. Ottawa took on the Pittsburgh Penguins, and frankly, Ottawa's last chance to salvage their postseason hopes. With a loss tonight, Ottawa would find themselves 9 points out of a playoff spot. If they win, they would only find themselves 7 or 6 points. The Panthers did win in regulation today, so if Ottawa did win, they would be only 6 points out. Also, if they won, that would put the Pittsburgh Penguins out of a playoff spot as well. So, a lot on the line for tonight's game. Now, starting for Pittsburgh is Tristan Jarry, their starting netminder. He has a .939 save percentage, a 2.33 goals against average, and a 3-0 record against the Ottawa Senators in those starts. But for Ottawa, here's the story of the day. Dylan Ferguson starts for the Ottawa Senators, his first career NHL start. A former 7th-round selection from the Dallas Stars, made his NHL debut in the Vegas Golden Knights NHL debut season in 2018, played under 10 minutes, faced 2 shots against Edmonton, stopped one of them. So it's a great story here. He lost the net there in Toronto with the Marlies. He got traded over to Belleville, Ottawa's AHL affiliate, and he's been dominant ever since, pushing them back into the playoff conversation down there in the AHL. With Belleville, he has a 5-1 record with a 2 goals against average and a .935 save percentage. Dylan Ferguson has absolutely earned the start. And holy cow, did he ever perform today for your Ottawa Senators. So let's get into it. To the first period of play, and the first 10 minutes in, Dylan Ferguson is facing a barrage of shots. 12 shots, only 10 minutes in. He's facing a shot every single minute in his first ever NHL start, and he made 2 unreal stops early on in this game, including a highlight reel stop that you can see on your screen right now. What a start, and what a performance tonight for Dylan Ferguson, and the Ottawa Senators would reward him for some great goaltending. 16 minutes in, Thomas Chabot gets a beautiful feed from Claude Giroux, and he drives in, makes a nice move, and snipes it top shoulder past Tristan Jarry to snap a 9-game goalless streak for Chabot, and Ottawa leads 1-0 after the Penguins swarm Dylan Ferguson. Ottawa will go to the second period of play up by 1. He made 19 saves in that first period, and thanks to Thomas Chabot, Ottawa will lead going to the second period of play. But my goodness, Dylan Ferguson was standing on his head tonight. He's him. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Ferguson is him. What a story this is. Once again, from over 5 years ago, bounced around the AHL for some time, got 1 appearance in the NHL, only faced 2 shots, allowed a goal, lost the net there in the Marlies, down the AHL, and now all of a sudden he's making 19 stops against Crosby and Malkin for the Ottawa Senators. What a story this is. And the story would continue in the second period of play, where he would put on 13 more stops. 31 saves for Dylan Ferguson through 40 minutes of play. They just couldn't solve Dylan Ferguson tonight. I mean, he was standing on his head, and it's not like these saves were easy for Ferguson. He was making some big 10-bell stops, very aggressive on the top of the crease, coming out to challenge the shooters, cutting off the angles, making some big stops, good rebound control as well. So through 40 minutes of play, Ottawa somehow leads by 1. It's 1-0, and as we saw on the stats, Sportsnet showed, after the second period of play, going to the third period, Ottawa was getting outplayed heavily by double. The time possession was 12:50 for Pittsburgh, and Ottawa had less than 6 minutes, 5:57. So Ottawa was absolutely getting outplayed in a crucial game, and Dylan Ferguson was the lone reason they led going to the third period of play. And that continued for the first 15 minutes of the third period. But unfortunately for Dylan Ferguson, that would end. After Thomas Chabot and Eric Brandstrom leave Raquel all alone out front, he capitalizes and breaks the shutout bid for the Ottawa Senators as Dylan Ferguson allows a goal on the 47th shot he faced. It's a 1-1 game. I really wanted the shutout here for Dylan Ferguson. It's an absolute shame, but Ottawa would make up for it. 2 minutes later on the power play, Jake Sanderson along the blue line keeps it in. He passes it over to Brady Tkachuk along the goal line on the right side, on the boards, in the corner. Drake Matheson's in front of the net. He has 13 power play goals on the season. Now he has 14. He tips it home on a beautiful feed from the captain. And Ottawa takes the lead right back. It's 2-1 Senators. The power play goal suddenly gives Ottawa the lead right back. And at a B for the Ottawa Senators, they finally get one there for Dylan Ferguson. Of course, they scored that opening one, but after that, it was all Pittsburgh, and that is a huge one because Ferguson deserves this win. The Senators don't, but Dylan Ferguson does. 47 saves up to this point. Drake Matheson puts it home as their Ottawa Senators win. And Dylan Ferguson's first ever start in the National Hockey League What a story it is. 47 saves on the day for Dylan Ferguson is an Ottawa Senator record for a first career start. Manalisi had 46 saves a month ago. That used to be the record. Now 47 saves is the record. What a hell of a performance from Dylan Ferguson, and what a story once again. Drafted in the 7th round from Dallas. Played less than 10 minutes in his NHL debut with Vegas in their first season. Allowed a goal and 2 shots against Edmonton. Got passed around the AHL the last few years. Got traded from the Marlies to Belleville because they just had no space for him anymore. Belleville had some goalie injuries, so he got a shot. Went off in Belleville in 6 games, won 5 of them. .935 save percentage. 2 goals against average. Comes to the NHL. Plays against Crosby. Plays against Malkin. Plays against the Penguins in the biggest game of the season for the Ottawa Senators. And Dylan Ferguson carries Ottawa to a victory. So add a B to Dylan Ferguson. Hell of an effort. Hell of a win. And more importantly, hell of a story for the kid. Just a great night for Ottawa, and more importantly for Dylan Ferguson, who frankly, you saw the celly there at the end for Fergie, Fergalicious, just an incredible win here for him, and he will never forget this moment. He will never, ever forget tonight, and I think he had family in the stands as well. So, just an incredible story for Dylan Ferguson. Well-deserved victory, and Ottawa plays Boston tomorrow, and look, you don't usually start goalies on back-to-back in, both of the games, but I mean, Ferguson's young. The Belleville, in the AHL, they play a lot of back-to-back games. He's been in those situations before. I mean, I'm fine with starting Sogard, but if they started Ferguson tomorrow, I would have no argument with doing so. I mean, he deserves that start, frankly, with how he played today. I understand wanting to give him some rest, but I'm sure he's going to be very fired up to potentially get in for tomorrow as well. So I would not be against, starting him tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But wow, what a story here for Dylan Ferguson. And this is the 6th starting netminder Ottawa had this season, the most in the National Hockey League. And, if you were following on Twitter, many people didn't even know who the hell this guy was. I can promise you now, people know who Dylan Ferguson is. What a story. The whole NHL is talking about him, and rightfully so. Just carried Ottawa tonight. And for Ottawa, look, they didn't really get much going. They had less than 20 shots on net. But look, they got the goals they counted. They got the shots that mattered. And they capitalized on their very, very infrequent chances. Batherson at the end there put the cherry on top for a great performance for Dylan Ferguson. Delivered the 2 points. The penalty kill for Ottawa tonight looked great. I think Brandstrom, especially on the penalty kill, looked really good, especially there in the 3rd period with a couple of really good blue line locks to push the Penguins out of the offensive zone. Sanderson as well stole the puck in the last few seconds to ice the victory for Ottawa. Literally, he iced the puck with 2 seconds left. So I really like Sanderson's game. Of course, got an assist as well in the game-winning goal, getting some power play 1 minutes, which is, great to see. Love to see that. This kid is only going to get better. And that's kind of it. I mean, Ottawa's forward core didn't look the greatest. Alex DeBrincat almost scored, had a couple good chances, but defensively, I think he looked really, really good. Was really impressed with, Alex DeBrincat tonight. And you can't fault him for trying. He doesn't just float out there. Every single game, he's trying. And I mean, yeah, he's getting absolutely stifled and been getting absolutely unlucky all season. But I mean, you can't fault him for not trying every single game. He at least puts his effort out there, and you can't say the same for some players on this team. So you can't say Alex DeBrincat is not trying every single night. But besides that, I got nothing else to say. I mean, Ottawa did not deserve this win. Pittsburgh absolutely did everything but win this game, and it's because of Dylan Ferguson, who absolutely stood on his head. Hell of a performance in his first ever NHL start. 47 saves. What a game for him, and what a night that he will never, and I mean ever, forget. So besides that, I will speak to you all soon. Tomorrow, Ottawa takes on the Boston Bruins in a massive game. It's a massive game. If Ottawa can win that one, who knows? Maybe we can string together a Fergler run and get into the postseason in Fergalicious style. So besides that, I'll leave it at that. I'll see you all tomorrow. Go Sens go, and congratulations, Dylan Ferguson. Hell of a performance. Hell of a performance.